Self-love is a fairly recent concept. In the Hindu scriptures, the self is of the nature of love. And so there's no such thing as self-love because we are love itself, and it's who we are rather than what we do. But then we started thinking of ourselves as limited beings and started thinking about ourselves as doing love or feeling loved. And then as time went on, with comparisons and social conditionings and the sense of competitiveness creeping in and us comparing ourselves to other people and then thinking we not better or worse, others are better and we are worse, creating a sense of low self-esteem and a lack of self-worth, which then led to us not liking ourselves. I use the word like very deliberately. And when we stop liking certain things about us, and then we build on the things we don't like about us, then that feeling of being lower or inferior or not as important, not as capable, this feeling of low self-esteem created a need for us to like ourselves. And so the term self-love got created for us to be able to love ourselves or like ourselves and see our worth and become appreciative of all the positive and beautiful things that we have. And so to love ourselves, first and foremost, we have to know ourselves. Have we really sat and objectively looked at who we are? We have a sense of self, especially when we say me. It's a very strong sense of self. And whenever we say me, there's the sense of self seems to be full or big, or it's asserted, right? And even if somebody's asked, whose does this bottle belong to? And we think me. And it's not even something that's important, but still that feeling of me is so immediate and so big and so solid. And what is this feeling of me? Who is this me? We just feel it. To define it, we'll come up with some personality traits, but then it feels incomplete. Surely I'm more than that. How can I love what I don't know or I haven't understood? And so knowing me is the first part. And then if you think of love, if you think of any relationship where there is love, we have to spend time to create a connection. And so even here, getting to know me and then spending time with the feeling of me. And spending time with the feeling of me isn't that I need to pamper myself or I need to like myself. It's spending time understanding the workings of what goes to make me, me. And that's our thought processes, usually fueled by a lot of emotions, including the emotion of desire, of wanting things that drive us. And so, getting to know me getting to spend time and truly appreciate me, and then recognizing something for what it is. When we love another person, when we genuinely love another person, we can see so clearly their beauty, the personality traits in them which are enduring, which are admirable. But we can also see in them where they are insecure, where they may be a bit lazy and not wanting to improve something about themselves even though they could. And sometimes we can see very clearly a definite fault, a definite shortcoming. They do things that maybe hurt themselves, or they do things that hurt those around them, and we can see it clearly. We can see that they have this tendency, they have this trait, and we love all of them. The bits that make us smile, and even the bits that make us cry. And so, in this journey for loving ourselves, it's being able to see clearly all of us and being able to accept it for just what it is. But when we love, we always want better for that person. And so loving ourselves will mean wanting better for ourselves. And so once we recognize certain things that can be improved, well, we'd want to improve them. And so loving ourselves is work. Yes, there's acceptance. And yes, there is being at peace with what is right now. But it's also taking initiative to improve. We're going to spend a little bit of time every day learning to see ourselves more clearly. And also to look at small things that we can change to be more responsible about how we feel and how we think. Because what we're thinking and what we're feeling have a huge impact on how we judge ourselves. And so creating small shifts to then be able to look at ourselves with a little bit more kindness, but also to look at ourselves with a little bit more appreciation that we actually are doing those things that we value to be done. For today, we're going to focus on this feeling of me. What does the feeling of me really feel like? And then, usually the minute we feel something or the minute we think something, we react to it within ourselves. So what are we doing when we feel this feeling of me? How are we reacting? The feeling of me, what does it feel like? And then how do I feel about that feeling of me? Just noticing it and just thinking about it.